I'm in Richmond, British Columbia, about 20 minutes south of downtown Vancouver via the SkyTrain. Super easy to get to. This is essentially like Flushing, Queens in New York, or the San Gabriel Valley outside of Los Angeles. This is where all the Chinese immigrants have come over the last 25, 30 years, mostly from Hong Kong. There are about 800 restaurants in Richmond, more than half of that Chinese. I'm standing on this street right now called the Food Street, or the Eat Street. I think it's Food Street. There are about 200 restaurants in a 2 or 3 block radius, super close together. Lots of things to eat. There's Korean barbecue, there's Chinese, there's Japanese izakaya, anything you'd want. But today I'm in search of dim sum with a couple of local experts.
We begin the day at Lido, tucked into a strip mall near the Aberdeen stop on the SkyTrain. Here it's all about the pineapple bun, named for its resemblance to the tropical fruit. The warm bun is sliced and stuffed with a pat of butter. We also try thin and delicate rice crepes and steaming bowls of congee, the ubiquitous rice porridge studded with bits of pork and preserved egg. The highlight here is the warm, sweet, and soothing almond tea embedded with ginkgo nuts. We pop into the massive Johann Center, where more than a dozen eating options await. There's Taiwanese stuffed sticky rice rolls and mounds of steamed dumplings. We walk next door to the Rainflower restaurant to check out the Tsui Xiaolongbao, a steamed yeast bun filled with barbecued pork and topped with a sweet crown of sugar, before making our way to the Sea Harbor Seafood Restaurant, located across the street from a giant casino. The room is spectacular and ornate, and the dim sum is plentiful. Rice crepes embedded with a yellow omelet, large plump hagao stuffed with steamed shrimp, translucent garlic chive dumplings embedded with egg and mushrooms. The room is boisterous, filled with families and relatives, and reminiscent of the finest dining rooms in Hong Kong. For a more subtle experience, we head to the Golden Paramount, just a mile or so away, again in a strip mall. Here, Dungeness crab and pork are stuffed into a delicate rice flour crepe. Fish paste is steamed on top of fried eggplant, while the hagao is smaller but just as delicious as Sea Harbor. 2 interesting dishes include one with steamed pork, mushrooms, and dried scallops on top of a cucumber, while dessert brings water chestnuts suspended in a wedge that's sweetened with sugar cane. Dinner is at Suhong restaurant, known for their Shanghainese dishes. That means Xiaolongbao, of course, the large pleated and puffy soup dumplings filled with ground pork and crab roe, as well as soup broth, nearly bursting with juiciness, and they're reminiscent of the finest versions, made with the right ratio of filling to wrapper. An enormous bowl of family hot pot arrives, positively loaded with soy-wrapped dumplings, mushrooms, shrimp, and glass noodles. There's also beggar's chicken and 8 treasured duck, each stuffed with things like sticky rice, ginkgo nuts, and dates. A procession of other dishes, including whole steamed fish and bok choy with mushrooms, rounds out a stellar day of eating in one of the greatest concentrations of Chinese food in North America.